Hi, I'm Ralph. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be dealing with a Delmonico steak. This is what they look like. Delmonico steak. Ralph, I'm not familiar with that, and most people aren't. Sometimes known as a chuck eye. It's similar to a ribeye. It's sort of a ribeye adjacent cut, but it's a whole lot cheaper and there's a lot fewer of them in a cow. Typically, you will have a hard time finding these in the grocery store unless you go first thing in the morning, because quite often the butcher saves these for themselves because they can be quite tender, quite flavorful, but a whole lot cheaper. We're going to be using a reverse sear method in cooking tonight, but first let's get on to the seasoning. I'm going to be starting out by adding salt to the pan right here, so that I can start out by making sure we get good seasoning on the sides. Now I'm seasoning this a couple hours ahead of time. Then I'm going to be putting it into the refrigerator. Then I'm going to be bringing it out in plenty of time to temper it before putting it into the oven. Tempering, that's a way of bringing it up to room temperature. So I'm going to get a good layer of salt on here. Now what the salt is going to be doing is it's going to be drawing the moisture out of the steak. And then that moisture is going to be going back into the steak, and that all takes time, which is why it's best not to do this just immediately before cooking. Don't be afraid to use the salt on here. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to be coming back to it in a few hours, and I will see you then. Okay, I'm back. The steak has come out of the refrigerator quite a while ago. It's been resting out on the countertop for better part of an hour, hour and a half, tempering, bringing it up to room temperature. We need to pat it dry. So get some paper towels. Just pat it dry on both sides. Again, this is what the steak looks like. It's a good looking cut of beef. It's not as well marbleized as, say, a ribeye. Maybe not even as well marbleized as a strip steak, but it comes highly recommended by butchers. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to be using a meter probe thermometer, sticking that in the end here. Getting that into a good meaty part of the center. I'm going to be putting this into the oven. Now I preheated the oven to 250 degrees. We're going to be leaving it in there till it comes up to, maybe about 118 or so, maybe 116. We're going to be pulling it out, and then we're going to be putting the sear on it on the grill. So that's going to be the final stage. We're going to see how that works out. And if you want a link to the meter thermometers, that's going to be down below. An alternative to the meter thermometer might be something by Chef's Temp, which is a really excellent instant read thermometer. So if you don't happen to have a probe thermometer, Chef's Temp instant read, good substitute. In fact, they're coming out with their own probe thermometer very shortly, if it's not out already. So be looking for that at the Chef's Temp site or down below. Hit my links and it will take you there. With that said, I'm putting it into the oven, 250 degrees. Okay, we're back. According to the meter thermometer, the steaks are currently registering 118, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out of the oven now. Here we are at the cooktop. Got the griddle all heated up. I put a little bit of avocado oil on there because it has a very high burn point. Getting ready to put the Delmonico steak on the griddle. And I'm going to be flipping it every 30 seconds so that we can kind of control how done it gets at the edges, trying to avoid as much gray area at the edges as possible. But we still want to get a good sear on it. So there's 30, flipping it over, and that sear is starting. At this point, I'm going to be pulling that meter thermometer out. We're going to go the rest of the way with an instant read thermometer, and it's time to flip. Now, much like a ribeye, you'd notice that this is in different sections, just like a ribeye has the main body and then it has the tap. This has basically about 3 sort of sections in here that are loosely connected. So it's a little bit of a challenge to keep it all together as you're flipping. Time to flip. Now that's registering about 135. You're probably going to have to take it off the grill here for just a moment to get a more accurate reading. Okay, we're going to see how done this is, because when I put the meter thermometer in, it may have actually been poking out of the meat at the critical point on the probe, so I'm not sure how accurate that was. Let me give it another reading here with the instant read. It's saying 142, so it might be more done than what I'd hoped for, but we'll find out here. And it is, but I think it's still going to be a good steak. It was cutting up super nice, super easy. I mean, check this out. So even though I might have left it on a little bit too long, I think the reverse sear method was a little forgiving for us, because it is coming out really nicely done. And you couldn't ask for an easier cutting steak. I mean, this is incredible, it really is. So what about a taste? Let's see what it tastes like. Is it going to taste as good as a ribeye steak? Gunnar is anxious for some too. Yes, it's every bit as good as a ribeye steak, just as tender. Tell you what, I think Gunnar deserves a little bit here. Gunnar, come here. Gunnar, come here, buddy. Good boy. And it's Gunnar approved. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below. Always appreciate subscribers. I think I've got some of the best subscribers around. They give me all kinds of great ideas. So with that said, I will catch you the next time. Bye-bye.